I really wanted to get this video. I leave tomorrow morning to go to PRI. So I really, knowing that a lot of you are going to be there, I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to jump on here and give you a few tips and things to be aware of when, if you're going. So, and then a lot of these tips will work no matter what it is, but some of them are kind of PRI specific. And so happy we have sound now. That's so frustrating. And I'm just sitting here, like, I'm not sitting here. I'm trying to get like all my camera equipment ready, and I'll be doing a lot of interviews. I've got microphones. So please, if you see me there, and usually I'm easier to spot than others because there's just not a lot of women at PRI. I mean, there just aren't that many women. So I kind of stick out a little bit more, but feel free to say hi to me. I'd love to do I want to do some more driver interviews. You may have seen on Crate Insider, I've been doing some driver interviews over there. And, you know, and with those driver interviews, it's not specific to like, oh, how was that heat race or how was that race? I'm really trying to get people's stories out there. And the response, I'm so surprised at the response, has just been amazing as far as the way these videos have been shared and people just really getting out there. And I want to do something to humanize the sport. Yeah, at the end of the day, of course, I want to sell race car parts. Do not get me wrong. I mean, I do have a business to run, but it all is part of that. And so especially some of you that I know through the group or that are customers of mine on Crate Insider, definitely feel free to stop me. But let's go ahead and jump into the 5 tips that I've come up with. And of course, any of these we could talk about for an hour, but I just want to do some quick ones. So the first of all, my first tip is know the company that you're approaching. So I like to think about it as like if you would go to a job interview, or some of you run your own businesses or companies. And have you ever had somebody walk in the door and you're like, why are you interested in this job? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I just want to get a paycheck. like I'm sure some of you have had that experience before. So when you're going to talk to a company, definitely give them some kudos, tell them why you wanted to stop and talk to them. Tell them why you're interested in their product, or if you've used their product before. That's really important, because something to think about. I get sponsorship requests sometimes, and some of the sponsorship requests I get are, well, I saw your company and I think you should sponsor me, and because it's my dream to be a racer. And I'm like, okay, all right. They don't talk about what they're going to do, and we'll get into that in a minute. But here's the thing is, I have lots and lots of really incredibly loyal customers. Why would I go out of that box and go to some new guy when I have these other loyal customers who have been there to support me along the way? So sponsorship really is a relationship. It is like going to a job interview in a way, because you have a chance to extend the reach of that company. So my first tip is know the company. My second tip is be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Now, of course, we all have a different mission while we're there. And yes, you want to learn about new products. You want to get sponsorship for your car. But think about these companies, why they're there. The reason they're there is to sell products. And I really cannot tell you how many times that, so again, for anybody who doesn't know me, I run Crate Insider. I sell race car parts. And so I'm there as a buyer. I am there to buy not just one or two of something. I'm there to buy dozens or hundreds of something. And I'm a small retailer. I mean, there are people who come in internationally to buy, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and a worth of product. And none of them want to be standing behind someone who's like trying to just hold on to a person in a booth to try to get them to sponsor them. So just be super aware of your surroundings. Just if it's less busy, sure, you can take some time to chit chat, but it's also a big show and you won't get much done if you're really kind of hang out and spend a lot of time there. So awareness is huge. And I'm going to keep an eye on these comments here and see if there's, yeah, there we go. Number 3 is be prepared with what is your thing. What is the thing that makes you special? What's the thing that makes you stand out in a sea of race car drivers? What makes you stand out? So for instance, my thing is when I go to anywhere, actually, if you look on my LinkedIn, if you look on my Instagram, what it says in my bio is I'm the girl who sells race car parts. that always sets me apart from literally anybody else at any event. But with racing as a race car driver, maybe your thing is, maybe you're a young driver, maybe you're first generation, maybe you're third generation, maybe you're a veteran driver. Whatever your special thing is, what is your special thing that you could, that really would contribute to that? What's going to make you memorable to the person that you're talking to? So just be aware of that, and make sure that you get that into the conversation. That, hi, I'm Kate. I'm the girl who sells race car parts. I actually, I don't usually lead with that. Usually people ask what you do, but at this event, I'm a racer. I race a stock car, a dirt late model, whatever. And a lot of people know me because, and then fill in that blank. Fill in that blank with what is your special thing. And that will make a difference. And, in thinking about sponsors, they're all going to be, actually, let me give you a really good example of where sponsors mesh and where they don't. So for one, if we just go really, really big and broad, like brands that everybody knows. So let's think about like a Red Bull or a Monster Energy. I mean, they're just such a youthful audience. You don't see them sponsoring like a 65-year-old veteran of the sport. You don't, because it just doesn't fit with their brand. On the opposite spectrum, you also don't see any 12-year-olds that are sponsored by Budweiser. So I'm being ridiculous on purpose, because it's just something to keep in mind. Am I someone that is in line with this type of company? Number 4 is, I want to talk about what you have to offer. And what I mean by this is, when you're looking at a company, kind of going back to that idea of a job interview, instead of going up to a company and asking them what they can do for you, be prepared to tell them what you can do for them. And let's be a little bit more specific here, and just using my own examples. So one example is, I get sponsorship requests, and I get the standard, and race fans are 85% more likely to use brands that that they see on race cars. Well, that's great, but I sell race car parts. I literally have nothing for fans, nothing. So even if there were 2 million people at a race, it wouldn't help me unless they're racers. So in my idea, or in my world, what I need is, when I'm working with racers, I want to be working with racers who are going to network with other racers and send business my way. Now, other companies are going to want that exposure, but to give you an idea, this is just an idea that needs to die. Nobody cares about stickers. Nobody cares about having a decal on your race car. They don't. And let me tell you why, is because, number one, you can't see this from the stands. This is a postcard, but you get the idea. It's small. What matters is whether you're going to tell someone about the company. That matters, unless it's the whole car. I mean, back over in NASCAR, like you have a whole M&M's car, you have a whole Bud Light car, or whatever. I mean, name a big brand, and we're just, we're more grassroots in this group, and we're not going to have necessarily that taking over the whole car, so to speak. It's more about what you can do. So what do you have to offer? I mean, I know a racer who's sponsored by Mellow Yellow, and he always has a drink. He always brings the drink cooler with the drinks in it. Maybe you can have a meet and greet, or they can, so they can bring some of their team out to have like a race night or something. Now, again, we're at PRI, so it's a little more national brands and trying to reach smaller markets. So that's maybe not as applicable, and that would be more applicable to a local person. But just the idea is, don't talk about how many fans are in the stands if that company doesn't have anything to sell to the fans. So just be ready to talk about how you would promote that company. What would you do for them? Because we all have that idea of what's in it for me. There's an acronym for that, but it's always what's in it for me. And at the end of the day, of course, you want sponsorship. You want, whether it's product support or you want cash or whatever it is, you want your thing. But I remember something that I heard from a motivational speaker many, many, many years ago. And it's words that I live by. And those words are, you can have everything in life that you want as long as you help enough other people get what they want. And that's really the key here. So if you can be talking to people and talking about what you can do for them, what people will do for you will just come right in line. And I am living proof of that. I always lead by giving. I'm not trying to say like I'm some angel or anything. That's not it. But I lead by giving, and then just amazingly, just things just kind of fall in my lap. It seems like it, but they really don't. It's I worked for that. And people want something from me is pretty much what that is how that works. But just thinking about what it is that you have to offer. And then number 5 is a acronym I want to introduce to you. And that is the fortune is in the follow-up. It's deals, certainly lots of deals are made at PRI, but what really makes a difference is that follow-up. So get that business card. This is about relationships. I mean, just meet. Don't even talk about sponsorship a lot of times. Just meet someone. Hit it off with them. The week after PRI, you follow up with an email or a phone call and talk about how you enjoyed meeting them. Maybe you have a question, but even so, just make that contact and just follow up. I mean, really, following up is the biggest thing. Now, a lot of times these decisions aren't made in a snap way, and especially at PRI, because again, why are these companies here? The companies are exhibiting at PRI so they can sell product. They need to sell product long before they need to give anything away. So really just try to pay attention to all of these things. And these are just 5. There's, of course, we could talk about this like all day, but I just wanted to jump on. I hope those are some helpful tips. And let me see if there's any questions here. And Hat, yes, first generation, great. I love stickers. Yeah, I mean, stickers are great, but don't try to sell stickers. The idea, in fact, I talked to a manufacturer a couple weeks ago. I was talking to him, and we were talking about sponsorship and that type of thing. And he was telling me that really that idea of like a race car being a rolling billboard, that idea died when social media happened. And what we mean by that is, I can put up a post on Facebook and I can reach, normally I can reach, like 1,500, 2,000 people. I put $100 behind it and I can reach 12, 15, 20,000 people for $100. It's really, really easy to reach people on Facebook. So the idea of a rolling billboard is really, just put that aside. It's more about what you're going to do. What is your social media presence? Talking about that offer back here on number 4. What is it you have to offer? Do you do videos? Maybe you do a weekly racing update. How do you highlight your sponsors? What has been your track record for helping other companies? Have they been happy with that? So those are just a few ideas. And if you've got some more questions or comments, feel free to drop them into the comments here. I am leaving in the morning, but I'll keep an eye on this string. And if I need to, I'll just jump back on here. And again, if you guys see me at the show, please stop me and say hi. Maybe we do an interview, and let's do that. So have a great day. Good luck. Good luck to everyone. Thanks so much for watching.